European Union currently consists of 28 countries which work together in many areas. Luxembourg has been a member of the Union since the very beginning, in 1957. That year, 6 countries established the European Economic Community, and a great deal has happened since then. To get a better idea of what has changed, let's take a quick trip back in time to the year 1970. Back then, anyone travelling from Luxembourg to a neighbouring country had to stop at a small customs house. If you wanted to go shopping in Trier or Metz, you had to exchange your Luxembourgish francs for German marks or French francs. Working or living in another European country was complicated. Even trade between different countries was far from simple. Sometimes you had to pay customs duties if you wanted to import something. This was both inconvenient and expensive. But that was not the only reason European countries decided to unite. They had lived through 2 world wars and believed that the only way to prevent another war was to have former enemies work together. In 1951, 6 countries decided to cooperate in what was an important sector at the time: coal and steel. Germany, France, Italy, Belgium, the Netherlands, and Luxembourg founded the European Coal and Steel Community, or ECSC, which had its headquarters in Luxembourg. Even larger countries like France and Germany saw that they would have more influence in the world if they joined forces than if they stayed on their own. And a small country like Luxembourg had the chance to be taken seriously and respected as a partner by its larger neighbours, with all the same rights as the other members. Europe has changed significantly over the course of its long evolution. The most noticeable change is that many new countries have joined the EU at various stages. Some of them were only able to join after the Berlin Wall fell and the Eastern Bloc disintegrated. Another change is that member states have been working together more and more closely. They now work together not only in the areas of coal and steel, but also in areas such as mobility, the environment, food quality, monetary currency, and economic issues. It's easier to work or study in other countries than it used to be. And if you use your mobile phone abroad, it's no longer more expensive than at home. EU citizens residing in another country are treated in the same way as citizens of that country. They even have the right to take part in municipal elections and European elections, and can influence EU policy by creating a European Citizens' Initiative. The EU now also has its own recognisable symbols. It has its own flag and its own anthem. For countries to work together, they need rules and shared institutions. One of those institutions is the European Parliament, where larger countries have more representatives than smaller ones. Luxembourg has 6 members in the European Parliament. The European Commission, an institution which has its headquarters in Brussels, proposes rules for European cooperation. Government representatives from the different countries, who meet at the Council of Ministers, and the European Parliament must then agree to these European legislative acts before they can enter into force. At the end of this process, the national parliaments also have to agree to certain things. There is also a European Court of Justice, which is located in Kirchberg in Luxembourg. Its job is to make sure that European laws are being kept. An important principle of the EU is the fact that countries are voluntary members, and that they can leave if they want to, but this is obviously not an easy process. In general, things in the European Union are no different from those here in our country. Every now and then, long discussions have to be held before an agreement can be reached. Many citizens are unhappy because there are still significant differences between the rich regions and the poor ones. What's more, people do not always see eye to eye about the future of the EU. For example, should it keep taking new members? Or how many non-EU citizens should be allowed to enter the EU? The European Union is a voluntary association of European states, which have decided to work together in a number of areas. Over the years, the European Union has grown and has changed. It has set up important democratic institutions such as the European Parliament. However, the development of the EU is an ongoing process, one that depends first and foremost on the wishes of the individual member states and their citizens.